everyone, welcome to the channel Tutor Box. In today's class I am going to discuss about individual case safety reports, and particularly we will discuss about the E2b guideline. The basics of ICSR, I already given in my previous lecture, so go to with the previous lecture. In this lecture we will discuss about the E2b R2 and E2b R3 guideline, and particularly we will discuss about the R3 guideline. Clear everyone? So basically what is E2b R2 guideline and what are the basic of it? So these guidelines are about the maintenance of ICH guideline on clinical safety data management. These are particularly for the clinical safety data management. And in this clinical safety data management, they collect the data, means data elements for the transmission of individual case safety report. That's why they are collecting the data for the transmission. Then initially they were approved in 2001 for step 4. Remember this point. Then ICH E2b expert working group was reformed to conduct a revision of E2b R2 because there were some lacuna in E2b R2 guideline in 2003. So in 2005 a revised guideline of E2b R3 was released for the public consultation. So R2 means second revision and R3 means third revision of E2b guideline. Basically they are E2b, but what is the meaning of R1, R2 and R3? R1, R2, R3 means the number of the revision. Clear? So then what further, ICH steering committee decided that they had taken a key decision that a technical specification should no longer be developed solely within the ICH. So क्या उन्होंने डिसाइड किया कि ICH जो भी डिसीजन करेगी, टेक्निकल डिसीजन करेगी, वो केवल और केवल ICH की जो स्टीयरिंग कमेटी होगी वो नहीं करेगी, बट अपने साथ में कुछ और कोलैबोरेशन भी करेगी और उनके विचार भी उसमें इंक्लूड करेगी. तो वो जो सारे थे, कौन कौन से ऑर्गेनाइजेशन थे, उन्होंने कोलैबोरेट किया स्टैंडर्ड डेवलपमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशन SDO, ताकि वो क्या कर सके, ताकि जो भी ICSR रिपोर्ट्स आए उनकी क्या हो सके, वाइडर इंटर ऑपरेबिलिटी हो अक्रॉस द रेगुलेटरी एंड हेल्थ केयर कम्युनिटी. क्लियर एवरीवन? नाउ बेसिकली व्हाट इज द बैकग्राउंड ऑफ ICH ICSR? So initially 1997 ICH implemented E2b guidelines. Clear? And these E2b guideline went through with the first revision in 2000, and these guidelines are considered as a E2b R1, and then further revision 2 in year 2001, that guideline considered as a E2b R2, and then finally ICH worked with the SDO and they released the revision 3, and this revision 3 are considered as a E2b R3 guideline. Now just look on the E2b R3 was the first topic harmonized under the new process published in July 2013 and helped to facilitate transition from E2b R2 to R3. Clear? सो बेसिकली हुआ क्या कि 2013 में जो रिवीजन आया और जो पब्लिश्ड हुआ E2b R3 का, उससे क्या मदद मिली हमें, E2b R2 से E2b R3 के ट्रांजिशन फेज में जाने में हमें मदद मिली. और इसमें हुआ क्या, इट इंक्लूडेड द टास्क ऑफ इंक्लूजन ऑफ कंपोनेंट ऑफ IDMP, ISO IDMP. बेसिकली ISO IDMP है क्या, it is a international dictionary of medicinal product. So in this we are taking what various ISO guideline like ISO 11615 to 11240 for specific products. So after discussion of ICH with the various organization and collaboration with the various organization, these guidelines are also included into E2b R3. So it work as a support for the use of constrained ISO IDMB terminology in ICSR, and then further it also require for the maintenance of technical document related to E2b R3. Clear? Now why standardization and electronic ICSR exchange are needed? The question raised in our mind. So the first thing is that why it is needed, because ICSR are exchanged primarily to enhance patient safety and enhance public health. Clear? Two things we want to enhance. First one is patient safety and second one is the public health. Then furthermore, ICSR needed to be transmitted across the stakeholders. There are various stakeholders of ICH. It should be transmitted to various organizations of six parties. Clear? Furthermore, ICSR need to be transmitted across the stakeholders. So there are various stakeholders of ICH, and after transmission in various stakeholders community throughout the health product life cycle, during clinical investigation, as well as for continued safety monitoring once authorized for marketing. Clear, everyone? Now, what are the advantage of electronic submission of ICSR? So the first one is it improves the ability to efficiently exchange and process the ICSR data. The second one is facilitate the transfer of information to organization who need it, and it will increase the faster transmission. If we are submitting to from the paper mode, then it required more time, and electronically it required less time. It also enable incoming message to be automatically routed and processed. Clear? जो भी ऑटोमेटिकली मैसेज आएगा ऑटोमेटिकली रूट हो जाएगा और प्रोसेस हो जाएगा. Then facilitates aggregation of safety data for analysis and allow minimizing the resource required for data entry or re-entry activities. So these are the various advantages of ICSR electronic submission. Now for electronic submission we required what? Software. So software is required, and in this ICSR R3 E2b R3 guideline, we have a 5 category in the C section, and further we have D to H categories, and C1, C2 R, C3, C4 R and C5. So these are particularly for administrative purpose, and these D to H are for related for the patient related and reaction related result. So here we have mentioned 1 dash dash 1 and 1 dash dash 7. What is the meaning of 1 dash dash 1? 1 is means it is mandatory. It is what? Mandatory. So this is the symbol given for this one. And 1 to many means 1 dash 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 n means, so 1 to many mandatory. Clear? For this one is given 3 lines are shown, means it is for many. 1 line is shown, it is for 1 to 1. Then the circle is not filled means 1 to many but optional. Clear? And here we have a only circle and we do not have a 3 lines, so it means 1 to 1 optional. Clear? So you are able to understand this diagram means if you are taking about the C1 identification of case safety reports, then it is 1 to 1. Okay, clear? Means case safety report should be identified and it is mandatory. And then primary source of information, so primary source of information is 1 to many, 1 to dash 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 n, 1 to dash 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 n. Clear? Means primary source of information we will share to many places. So similarly information and sender of case reports, literature reference and study identification. So these are considered in the C category. And then further we have a D for patient characteristics, E for reactions and event, F for result of test, and G for drug information, and H for narrative and summary. So this diagram suggests the whole picture of ICSR E2b R3 guideline. Clear? So one by one we will discuss all C criteria and then further D to H criteria. Now just understand, for this development there is a requirement of the set of codes. Clear? And the terminology as well as vocabulary, so that ICH develop the all code set, terminology and vocabulary. I am just showing you these terminology. They have given the element ID, element name as well as OID reference number. So OID reference number is generated for all kind of things. So just I am showing you for various product means they have given the various element ID so that they can identify particularly. Clear? So just check these code set, terminology and vocabulary. I'm just showing you. Similarly, these are for data elements and MET-DRA OID codes. Clear? And then further we have a data elements and ICSR message codes. Clear? So type of message, type of report, first sender to this cases. Similarly, so and there are so many codes. Clear? So again look at these codes. Now just understand notes on the format of data elements of ICSR. So I already discussed in the diagram that we have a two section in ICH, section A and section B. So section A is for C1 and section B is for D2H. So in section A is particularly for administrative purpose and section B is for the patient kind of activities. So in C1 we have identification of case safety reports, primary C2 primary source and information, C3 information of sender of case safety report, C4 literature reference, and C5 study identification, D for patient characteristics, E for reaction, R for result of test, D for drug of information, and H for narrative cases summary. So one by one we will discuss each and every one, what kind of information they contain. So the first one is identification of case safety report. So sender case safety reports unique identifier. It require the date of creation, means initially we have to require केस सेफ्टी रिपोर्ट यूनिक आइडेंटिटी नंबर. जो भी केस रिपोर्ट हुआ है उसका एक यूनिक आइडेंटिफायर नंबर होगा, वो हमें जरूरत चाहिए. नाउ ऑन विच डेट इट वाज क्रिएटेड, सो डेट ऑफ क्रिएशन इज रिक्वायर्ड. देन what type of report we required, which type of report it is. Then further we also required data report was first received from source. Then further we required on which date the report was first received from the source. Then date of most recent information on this report. So whenever there are so many kinds, we regularly receive the information on the event. So what is the date of most recent report? Then are additional document available, this is also required in this section. And then the document held by the sender or for additional info, this is another point which is mentioned in the guideline. Then does this case fulfill the local criteria for an expedited reporting? I already discussed about the expedited reporting, so we will check whether it is fulfilling the expedited reporting criteria or not. Then worldwide unique case identification number. Initially we will give the country unique case identification number, and for another purpose we will also give a worldwide unique case identification number, so that it can be traced in the worldwide. And other case identifiers, we will check the apart from these four criteria whether other case identifiers are available or not. Clear? And then further, is there any nullification of the report, or is there amendment are available? Means sometime the report is not given properly and then there is a requirement of the amendment and some kind of modification or changes. So this is available on. Then further we require the primary source information. Now what is primary source information? Means the reporter name who report about the adverse event, then reporter address and telephone number, and reporter's country code, means reporter is belong from which country, like whether he belong from India or other country. Clear? Then what is the qualification of the person? Means by the qualification he may be considered as a healthcare professional or non-healthcare professional. Then primary source of regulatory purposes. Then further we have a required information on the sender of case safety reports. So sender type we will require, then sender organization, sender is belong from which organization, then person responsible for sending the reports, we will take the information, and then sender address, fax, telephone number and email address we will collect. Then literature references. So in literature references we will include the various references regarding the adverse event, and we are also include the supporting documents for it. Then further we will require study identification. So we require the study registration number, then study registration country, study name, sponsor study name, and study type where reaction event were observed. Till here we discuss about the C criteria. Now we are discussing about the D criteria. So in patient we will take the patient name and its initial, then patient medical record number and the source of the record number. Clear? So that we can identify the patient by the medical record number. Then we require the date of birth, then age at the time and of onset of the reaction of the event, then gestation period when reaction event was observed in the fetus. So sometime if the reaction occur in the pregnant woman, then we require this information. And what is the body weight, height in centimeters, sex, what is the sex, male, female, transgender, and last menstrual period for the female. Then relevant medical history we also require to fill the ICSR form. So what is the concurrent condition or medical history of the patient? So structured information on the relevant medical history, then text for relevant medical history and concurrent condition, other therapy which required by the patient, relevant past drug history. So which kind of drug patient taken in the past, so name of the drug as reported, and what is the medicinal product identifier code of that past drug, and pharmaceutical product identifier code, what is it, and then what is the start date of the drug, then end date of the drug, then indication of the med-DRA code, and reaction, what is the med-DRA code, we will include it. And in case of death, we require the date of death, report the cause of the death, as well as report the cause of the death with the med-DRA code, reported cause of death, whether autopsy is done or not, and autopsy determining causes of death, include all of these criteria. And reactions or events, so what kind of reactions as reported by the primary sources, clear, and reaction event as reported by the primary sources in native language and translation. Means a report is transferred from suppose report is transferred from India to US, then if report is in the Tamil language, then we'll translate in English as well. Reaction or event med-DRA code, we will include the med-DRA code, and on which date the reaction was started and which date it was and what is the duration of the reaction of the event, and what is the outcome of reaction event at the time of last observation, and medical confirmation by the healthcare professional or not. So here in each event in R3 guideline, in each event we will confirm event by the healthcare profession. However, in R2 guideline it was confirmed in the case, but here we confirm in each event. So that is the difference between R2 and R3. Then further identification of the country where the reaction event was occurred. Now further we will discuss about the seriousness criteria at the event level. So that is also a difference from the R2 to R3. So in this, whether it is result in the death or a life threatening, so on both of these bases we will decide that the seriousness of the criteria, or it is cause prolonged hospitalization, disability or incapacitating, congenital abnormalities causing, or other medically important condition. Clear? Now in R3 guideline, the test result of test are also included, which were not included into the R2 guidelines. So that is another important point. So we include the test date, test name, med-DRA code, as well as test result code and test result value, whether it is qualified or not qualifiable, and what is the result in the unit, and result unstructured data. Clear? So these kind of things we will report into the results. Further we will also report about the drug information. So in drug information we will discuss about the characterization of the drug role, then medicinal product unique identifier or pharmaceutical product unique identifier number, both of these identifier code are mentioned, then medicinal product name as reported by the primary source, then authorization or application number we will mention in the ICSR, and then country of authorization or application, in which country it was first authorized, then name of the holder and market authorization holder, and applicant number we will mention. Clear? So these drug information we will include ICH, ICSR, R3, E2b R3 guidelines. Then about the doses and relevant information. So we will include about the dose number, how many dose given, number of units given, and in which interval it was given, date and time to start and end of the drug, and duration of the drug administration, and batch and lot number, as well as doses text number and pharmaceutical doses form number. Clear? So route of administration, we will also give this, and parent route of administration in case of parent child fetus. So these parent child or fetus reports are also the new part of R3 guideline. Earlier it was not included into R2 guidelines. And cumulative dose to first reaction. What was the cumulative dose? Means after regularly given to the 5 days, and then after 5 days the reaction occur, then we will plus the all 5 days dose. That is considered as a cumulative dose. Then gestation period at the time of exposure, we will also include this information if it is applicable. Clear? So this is about the doses and relevant information of it. And further indication for use in case. So indication for what kind of indication drug was used. So indication as reported by the primary source, and indication MET-DRA code we will mention. Then we will also include the narrative, case summary, and further information. So case narrative including clinical course, therapeutic measures, outcome, and additional relevant information will include in case narrative summary. So also include reporter comments and sender diagnosis. MET-DRA code is included in ICSR R3 guideline, and case summary and reporter comments will include. Clear everyone? So this is all about on the ICSR E2b R3 guideline. These kind of things are included in the reports. So whenever you look in the ICSR forms, that time you will be able to identify, means such kind of information are filled electronically or paper mode by the people who are belong to the filling of the forms. Clear? So I hope you people are able to understand ICSR E2b R3 guidelines, and how it was developed and what kind of information it include. Sometime question may be asked in the examination that discuss about the ICSR E2b R3 guideline. So at that time you have to mention about this. So here I discuss some question with you guys. So solve this MCQ and give the answer of all of these questions. And if you think this lecture is useful, then share this lecture to each and everyone. Jai Bharat, Jai Hind.